Hi guys. So this is the video recording I promised everybody. Recording that would speak to us cleaning from scratch an unclean data, right? And would also look at data modeling. So I'm going to use this recording to also talk about data modeling, and also at the end of the video, we would also look at our guided project and then see some issues with our data model, right? So we would have a bumper package. So just sit back, relax, and watch through. Now let's start with trying to use Power Query to clean data sets, right? Now let's go to import the data set I told you guys about. I'll go to my get data after opening my Power BI desktop Excel workbook. So this is data set. I'm sure you guys, I'm not sure if I shared this to you guys. Yeah. So, um, so I'm going to click on unclean data. So this is located in my document, and then open. So remember, the goal of this is I want to show you guys like how some data can be dirty, and different methods of cleaning and making this data 100% clean. So I'll click on my sales sheet. This is what I want. Then I click on transform because we want to use Power Query to clean this table. Now it takes me to Power Query editor. So we done. Now guys, notice that because of our column quality, right, our column profiling, we notice that this column is not clean enough. This column as well is not clean enough. This is not clean enough. So looking all through, we notice that we have like some unclean columns, right? And the end goal today is we want to make sure everything is 100%. Now, guys, so first thing first, how do you think? How do you, as a data analyst, it comes to your head? You need to be able to think, right? You need to be able to decipher things. You need to be able to read between the lines, right? Okay, what do I do in this case? I'm seeing confusing things. What is this data set trying to tell me about, right? First off, I'm seeing salesperson, I'm seeing region, and I'm seeing total. Why are they separated? But the first thing I can pinpoint here is I think maybe the clerical or the clerk, when he or she was filling this data, he did something like in an Excel sheet. He did sales for so day. Then under that column, he now fixed the salesperson, people that worked on that day, the region that they worked in, and the sales they made for each region. If you notice it, so based on what I'm saying, right now, but I'm seeing that. So what do I do basically? How do I start? Right, because this is quite confusing. I'm seeing a lot of null. I'm seeing a lot of how do I start? So first things first, right? What you need to do, guys. Let's take note of this date. So let me take note of it because we are going to use it somewhere else. Let me take note of it. So it is 218 0101. Let's take note of it. So in my head, right, based on all the things we've been learning, I want to be able to. So looking at this, understanding. I understand that. I think James is a salesperson, and then 1769 is the unique number, maybe a salesperson ID for James, right? The primary key for this column, basically. So because why? If you go elsewhere, if you see James, James still has that 1769. So it's like 1769, and all this number beside this text are all the primary key, right? So that's one thing. That's one thing we've been able to decipher, right? Now, I would like to split this so that I would see my primary key or this unique identifier to be in another column, right? So in my head, I need to split, right? So, but we have a lot of entries for James 1769 team this, but looking at this sales for, this occurs less compared to James and then 1769 team 2213. this sales for occurs lesser than this James Tiny. So if I would like to split, right, the first thing I would like to split is basically my sales for and then the date, so that I will have my date in another column, right? I hope this is clear. So I'm looking at, first thing that I deciphered is I want to split some content in this column, but I'm seeing that I have lesser number of sales for 2018. So let us split this first before we start splitting this James and then the unique identifier, right? So what I'll do is, as we've been doing, either you right click on this column, you go to split column, then by delimiter. So take notes. So the delimiter here is, guys, take notes. We want to split this date so that it will be in another column. My delimiter here should be colon, right? This is the colon, it's unique. There's no repetition of colon here again. The same thing with this place, there's no repetition of colon here. So I'll click on colon, and then I want it to start from, if you are splitting, split from the leftmost side, right? So that this one, your date will move to another column. So I'll click here, and then that is that. See? So we have done something, right? We've been able to split. Alright, guys, notice, right? We have 2nd of January 2018, meaning all these people here sold goods on this day, basically, right? Meaning for this one, all these people, David, James, and Janet, sold something on this day. Now, with this that we've succeeded to split, now in my head I can just come here and remove this column, right? Because we have 91% empty column, and then, or rather 91% empty cells, and then 9% valid cells. So I can just come here and easily just remove, right? But hey, instead of doing that, right, why don't we try to do something else, right? Before we come to split our James, our team, our Mark, right? Before we come to split these two, all these ones into another column, why not we do something, right? Why don't we have, like, instead of just having 2nd of January 2018 here, why don't we have 2nd of January? Because every Mark, the idea is Mark sold on this day, and he brought from the region, not region, he got a total sales of 5,962. So I can as well put my date here, right? This date here, I can as well put it here. So why don't we have that option, right? So that our date, the day that Mark, Jane, Tom sold their items on the 2nd of January, we want to also have that date here alongside this record. We want to do that. So now, for me to do that, we'll come to transform tab. I'll come to fill, right? I want to fill down. So watch what will happen. Watch what will happen. So I'm coming here, click on this column, right? Go to your transform tab, go to fill down. Watch. See? Instead of we removing this column initially, remember that I wanted to remove it, but now we now said, instead of removing it, why don't we just fill down the content of this into the empty cells? And then if you notice, Power BI is so smart, it understands that, okay, these guys sold all their items on the 2nd of January up until this time, which is 3rd of January. Then remember we said fill down. The next cell now will now be 3rd of January. You see? So it's so smart. If you go down, you see how it fills down. This one, sales for 5th of January. Then salesperson, 5th of January. David sold on 5th of January. James, 5th of January. Janet, 5th of January. All the way down, right? So now, I think we've done something, right? And guys, notice that at least we are having something. We are bringing something to life. So we have 89% valid entries, and then 11% empty entries. Now remember I told everybody that we should save this date, right? Remember I said we should save this date. Now Now let's replace these null values because when looking at this, it means that our sales, these remaining sales here, all these people sold on the 1st of January. Remember that it was because our headers was at the top, right? So meaning the date that will be here is supposed to be 1st of January, right? Which is this that we stored initially. So we just come and then click on this again, right click, or you come to your home tab, you see something like replace values, or we right click, let's use this, come to the column, right click, replace values. So we want to replace the null here to 01 01 2018, I guess 2018. That's what we stored, right? 2018, yeah. Click on OK. You see, Kabish. We have a we now have a column that represents something that looks somewhat like our date column, right? Just like that. Now, looking at this, what should we do now? Remember, we said we had wanted to split James and all this unique identifier first, but we said no. Let us deal with the lesser occurrence of salesperson and the date, right? That's why we split this. We had to split it first compared to others. So next thing that we want to do here is looking at this data, right? I'm still having confusion about this, but next thing I feel would make sense for us to do is, guys, look at this. If you look at salesperson northeast, notice that we can even promote this. This is supposed to be like our header name, right? Supposed to be like our header name. So I'm looking at, should we do that now, or should we so now the next thing that I'm looking at doing, guys, let's try to split this, right? Let's try to split this. Let's try to, or you know what, instead, before splitting, guys, this, look at total. Look at total. It's not important because at the end of the day, if I want to do the total number of this, we can do it. So this row is basically not important, because if we want to do the total number of knots, we can even remove this row and get the total number of sales in the northern region. So this row is not important, right? Even this one, sales for, is not important because we have null values, and then this date is not depicting anything. As well, our salesperson entry is not important because we just have north, east, south, and the rest. We know that this is north, east, south. We know. Do you guys understand? So what we'll do is I'll come here, right? The first column, I'll come here, and then I would, okay, there's another entry too. Okay, see this as well. We have another row that is just null, 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 and we also have date, so it's not depicting anything, so we can remove these rows. So come here, filter, click here, filter it, and then let's unselect all, or rather select all, then unselect null entry, right? Also select this. We want to unselect this, we don't need it. We want to unselect salesperson, we don't need it. We also want to unselect total, we don't need them, right? See, so we've been able to unselect those rows that are not important. See, guys, it's coming along. We have something looking nice, right? So we have something looking nice. So what I'm kind of thinking is, before we do that, guys, so that we will not get confused, let us first of all promote this first row as headers, because note, we have north, east, south, so that at least we'll have it here as header names. So do use first row as headers, right? You see, so we have salesperson, date, north, east, south, and west, right? Then let's unselect what we just deciphered, right? The null entry, we don't need this record. We don't need this sales for record. We don't need our salesperson record, whatever it might be in this sheet. We don't even need total, because at the end of the day, we'll be able to calculate the total sales for north, total sales for east. So why are we breaking each total, right, on the different days? It does not make sense. Come here and select null entry and select sales for salesperson and total. See, I have something looking good. Now, I think it's now time for us to split this column, salesperson column, right? So as we've been doing it, either right click here, click on this, right click, split column. Now, what is the delimiter? If I want to use delimiter, remember, delimiter here is bracket, a close bracket, right? An open bracket rather, right? So it's unique. We don't have any other open bracket here. What we have is just a close bracket, right? We just have open bracket, close bracket. But we want to use this open bracket to be able to split these two entries, right? So come here, right click, split, delimiter. Now, because if you come here, because we don't have an open bracket here already inscribed for us here, we'll go to custom and then we'll put our open bracket, right? Then how do you want it? We want to split at the leftmost delimiter. So I'll click this. So anytime he goes to this entry, this record, and he sees open bracket first, leftmost, it will split it. To split James to another column, to split 1769 to another column. So I'll come and click OK. See, this is it. It's as simple as that, guys. So you see that we are getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. Now, the next thing I want to see is I've gotten my salesperson's name. I've gotten my primary key for each salesperson. So if you notice, where James is, he has the same primary key. Where Mark is 1336. If you check for Mark along all these places, you see 1336. You see? So we have, meaning we have another Mark that has this 3305. Guys, I hope you guys are getting it. We have JNet 3365. If you see any JNet here again, you see that 3365. So that's just the idea, right? So these are the unique employee ID for different employees. So Jane is 6765. See another Jane, still the same 6765. So we can use this as our primary key. So for we to have this alone, let us remove this close bracket, right? We'll click here, right click, replace, because we want to replace this close bracket to nothing, just like what we did in our guided projects. Come here, replace value. What do you want to replace? Close bracket with nothing, white space. So you click on it. See, Shikina. I see that something is coming up. We are almost there. So before that, let's try to change our data types now, right? So this is definitely text. We'll leave it as text. This is definitely our primary key. So we don't want any number, right? It is a numerical column. So we don't want to leave it as a text column. So I'll click here and then I'll leave it as whole number. Right? Yep. So next thing is, this is the date. This is text, text, text. So everything looks good. So next thing that we are looking at is next thing that we are looking at here is, so instead of, we can as well name, if we want to name, right? We can as well name if we want to name, right? Because our data set is already looking good. We can come here and say, okay, salesperson. Salesperson And then we can come here and say salesperson ID, something like that. Right, and we can come here and say maybe date. Come here and say date. Yep. Then we can come here and leave it like that, right? But hey, should we leave this as the data type? Because notice that we have ABC123 is confused. He does not understand. He does not really understand what data type is this. So it's already is the total sales in the northern region, right? So we need to change this as whole number. We'll do the same thing for eastern region as well. Whole number. Do the same thing as for southern region as well. Whole number, and we'll do the same thing for western region. Whole number. So we are almost there, guys. See, our entries is already telling us 100%, 100%. So with this, we are good to go. Right? We are good to go. With this, we are good to go. But there's something I would like to also address. Right? There's something I'd like to also address. So like this, it is fine, right? But we can also do something. This is what I don't know if you guys, if you watch the previous recording, I'll post it after this record that I'm doing, right? If you notice, there was a time I was trying to unpivot, right? I was not supposed to use unpivot. I was supposed to use transpose to get what I needed, but maybe I was fatigued, right? So in this sense, in my head, right, you are done with this. If you want to go ahead with this, it's fine, right? Everything is fine. You've cleaned the data, it's nice. 100%, 100%, 100%, everything. Because now it speaks that, sorry. So it speaks that we have salesperson. Let me move this. I like my ID to be first. We have a salesperson ID, the salesperson, the date that this salesperson worked, and this salesperson worked in the northern region with, on this day, he made a total of 373 naira. In the eastern region, he also worked and he got 5,209 naira, something like that. So, but now, why don't we have, like, instead of having 4 columns that is giving us north, east, south, why don't we have something like that? We'll have like 2 columns that will just be region and then sales amount, right? So how do I mean? I want to just pivot this data. Basically, that's what I want to do. So I'll select this 1, 2, 3. So when I'm done with this, you guys understand what I'm saying. 4, right? I'll come to transform. Then I'll go to pivot. If I do pivot on only selected columns, watch what will happen. You see? Guys, did I select? Oh, I think I selected, sorry. Oh, sorry. I also selected my salesperson ID. That was why he included this column. So I'm supposed to just select this. Let me select. I select this, not this, this, and this. Right. I want to just have region and then amount column. I don't want to have northern region, eastern region, southern region, western region, and then different amounts. Right. If you want to move your data set like it's fine, everything is valid, everything, your cells are okay, right? But I just want to show you guys another method of making your data set smaller, and at least it will load the query easily, right? Power BI desktop. Yes, the number of rows would increase, but at least the number of columns will decrease if I do this. So I'll select and then go to transform, go to pivot columns, and then go to pivot on selected columns, right? Now this is what I'm saying. Now from the 4 columns that we had initially, I have 2 columns now, right? I can name this region because it's all the region that we are talking about, north, east, southwest, north, east, southwest. So I can name this region. notice that it has condensed 4 columns to 2. Then I can name this the sales amount, basically. Right? Sales amount. So what does this speak to? It speaks to, for James, James worked on the 1st of 2018. He worked for all this region, and this was the total sales amount he made in the northern region on the 1st of January. Total sales amount he made in the eastern region on the 1st of January. Total sales amount he made in the southern region on the 1st of January. And total sales amount he made in the western region on the 1st of January. You see how easy or easier now it is to read compared to how it was before, where we had northern region, eastern region, and it's just plenty. You understand? So with these guys, you've been able to clean that dirty data set I brought in, and you have basically 5 beautiful columns that is ready for analysis. Right? They're 100% valid, no empty cells, no missing values, and the columns are not that much, so that your loading time will not be too much and everything looks good. So this is it, and then let's move on to data modeling. Right? So guys, welcome back. So before we get to modeling, data modeling, let me just give a brief rundown. So basically, we've been able to touch on all this, right? I showed you guys how to import data, right? And Clara showed us on the classroom via the web. I showed you guys how you can with Excel workbook, CSV format, and the rest, right? And also we've spoken about, let me make this like this. So we've spoken about query editing tools in our Power Query Editor. In fact, we've even used most of these tabs: transform, add column. We've used home tab a lot. We've also used view tab, where we changed our column quality. Formula bar, query pane. We've been using query pane, right? If you are watching this recording now, at least you notice what we've used our query pane to do. We've also worked on query settings, where we've been changing apply steps and the rest. So we've also tried to talk about data types, right? We've seen how we can change data types with Power Query. We've done basic data transformation like promoting headers, right click on header to access common tools. We've even sorted values, we've removed rows, we've removed columns, right? I even spoke about close and apply, right? And then we've done split column, extract, format, merge, right? Remember, with our live session data set, we've treated this. We also treated something like statistics and also standard, where we're doing subtract, multiplication, and all that. We also treated date column, right? Where I showed you guys in our live data set, where you can, where you have like a date data type or a date column, you can extract different columns, right, from this date option. We've done that. If you are following us with the previous recording, this shouldn't be a something that is confusing. All these things I'm saying. We've also done appending queries. I showed you guys how to append with our live data set, and also our guided project. I've also showed you guys how to mesh queries with our guided project. I showed you guys how to unpivot and pivot, right? So this was, instead of me clicking on transpose to make it look like this, I thought then I think I was fatigued. So we might even try this. So I taught you guys how to pivot, and then also on pivoting data, you can transpose it to give you something like this, where your product ID will now be the column, and then your total profit will be the row. Right? I even showed you guys how to group, right? This was the grouping that brought us to this, right? And then we've also removed duplicates. We've done conditional formatting, where we did if customer age is this, and also we did it in our guided project, where we did our quarter month, right? Where we said if our financial quarter is 1, then give us April, June, something like that. We've done that. You see that we've covered pretty much everything, and then we spoke much about fact and dimension table, right? Where I showed you guys that fact table contains numerical column and foreign keys, basically, right? That's how you know fact tables. Fact tables contain numerical columns and then foreign keys. And these foreign keys always have primary key in their own respective tables, right? And then we talked about dimension table that houses the primary key, and then other columns describes the primary key. So with that, we are done with basically Power Query, because I've showed you guys how to also clean and unclean data set with Power Query. We've used Power Query to even form different dimension tables. We've 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 done a lot of cleaning also with Power Query on our live data set. So at least by now you should be hands-on with Power Query. Now let's move to data modeling. Alright, guys. So this is what we'll talk about today. Right, and we'll also look at our guided project, what we did, right, in the previous recording, right, to see if our data model has issues or not. Then now let's move. Now, what is data modeling, guys? Data modeling is the process of creating relationships between multiple data sets, right? These relationships are established by what? By relating the primary key and foreign key. So this is what we've been discussing about basically, right? Right? Why are we even modeling data? It's just to get dimension tables with their own primary key, and then that dimension table's primary key will be a foreign key in another table called fact table. That's basically it, right? So that we can be able to connect it like this. And I told you guys, I gave you guys a scenario last time that if you have a TV shelf in your parlor, everything is looking beautiful, right? The connection at the back of the shelf, where this wire is moved to speaker, from the speaker to the TV at the back, you can term that as the data model, right? Because it shows us different connection at the back view. So this is it, right? This is a data model, but this one is telling us there's no data model because there's no connection here yet, right? And what do we connect with? We connect with the primary key and foreign key, right? Primary key in the dimension table and then foreign keys in the facts table. Now, so let's head back to Power BI. Right, let's head back to Power BI. So I'm not going to save this. I'm just going to apply instead of close and apply. Right, I'm going to just close. Let me close it. So if I close it, I'm not going to change any. I'm not saving anything. What I did not save it, and it's not even going to apply on my Power BI desktop. So I'm going to discard change. I don't want it. Let's discard. Now let us go to, we've been using our live session data sets, right? So this one is the data set that I've been using to explain different concepts to you guys, not the guided projects, right? So let's open it. So let's still wait, it's still loading. So guys, because we are basically done, right? We are done with this our live session data set where we've done our cleaning. Let us go back, transform data to our Power Query. So we've done everything that we need to do, right? Calendar, everything is in order. They're all in date, data type. This is a number, so we left it at a whole number. Customer dimension, we did full name. We merged last name and first name. It gave us full name, and then we also did customer age where we did our age group, something like that. Then our orders 2012, we appended everything to give us orders full, right? I can even call it others facts. So let's call it others facts. Others facts table. So we know that it's a fact table, right? And then also have a returns table that also looks like a fact. It's not looks. It is a fact table, right? Because it contains numerical column here and also contains foreign keys. How do I mean foreign keys? Other ID has another table, right? So this is like a foreign land for other ID. So meaning this is a foreign key. Territory ID is also a foreign key here because it is a primary key in territory table, right? Or territory dimension table. See? So that's the idea, right? So this is our primary key for this table, other item refund ID, right? So this is a fact table as well. So we have two fact table, returns. So we can call this returns fact, and then others fact. How did we get others fact? It was when we appended these four tables, we got a fact table called others fact. And we also noticed that returns is a fact table because what? It contains a numerical column and then foreign keys. Also more than one foreign keys, right? That's a fact table. Notice your others fact table. It contains a numerical column, total profit. You can call this revenue though, but it's fine for total profit. And also it contains foreign keys as well. So that's why we are calling this table a fact table. The other tables are dimension tables because they only have primary keys that are not repetitive, there are no duplicates, and the product, all other columns describes the primary key column, right? So looking at customers dimension, every other thing here describes the customer, right? And all these are unique. They don't have a duplicate. They don't have repetitions, right? So now, I think that's that. So let's go back, close and apply. Now, since we are done, right, we will load everything, close and apply. So apply changes. So guys, it is very, very important that you watch this video before you do your assignment, your data modeling assignment. Watch this video before you do your data modeling assignment, right? Now, let's go to our data model tab or model view tab, right? Now, notice that Power BI has sent something, right? Power BI has sent some connections and it is already doing it for us. It's that smart. It's that active. Now, but what I'm confused about is, guys, watch. What I'm confused about is I'm seeing orders 2012, I'm seeing orders 2014, I'm seeing orders 2013 and 2015, and I'm seeing orders fact as well, right? I'm seeing orders. Where is orders fact? Our fact table for orders. See, I'm also seeing it here. So in my head, I'm like, there's no need for orders 2014, 2012 to be here because we already have the appended table here, right? It's just like we are stressing ourselves. So for we to not to have this, we go back to our transform data, right? Go back to transform data. And what I've been showing you guys, come here. I don't want this to load because we've already appended this. I've joined this to to develop a new fact table. So why do I want to load this again, right? So that our data model will be free. Now I would disable load. Yes, this is what I want. I'll also come here, disable load. This is what I want. Come here, disable load. Notice that I click on the table first and then I right click, then choose disable load. Click, bam, right click, then bam, disable. Right. So now let's go. If I close and apply, watch what will happen. Yes, please apply our changes. Now notice that we only have others facts table now because we don't want repetition of all those others 2012 and the rest, right? We don't want it. So let me delete all these connections so that we start it off and everybody will understand. Let's delete it. So we just arrange our table well first. So how am I deleting this? Right click on the connection, then delete. So you see, this is like another important part. Right click, delete. Because if all these things are not connected, all your tables are not connected, your dimension to your fact table, there's no way you can have interactivity and there's no way you can have insight from different tables. Do you understand? So I'm right clicking and then I click on delete to delete all this connection. So I will start it off from afresh. Remember, guys, it says, remember we said data modeling is the process of creating relationships between multiple data sets, right? These relationships are created by what? Established by relating the primary key and foreign key. Now I'm deleting this relationship, right? Remember, data modeling is you creating relationship between tables, right? But now I'm deleting the relationship. So with this, there's no data model here, basically. So now let me just have this here so that it will be in just one view. Just one view. This one is our customer table. Everybody will be seeing it, yes. So I want to just make everything on one view so that once we stay, I'll not be scrolling too much. So take note, this is our live data set, right? So it's not our police data set. The same, the way Kemi called it. Yep. I think we have everything in one place, yes. So let me move this one here first. And this one, make it small. Yes. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, we have 7 tables, I think. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, guys, we've seen our tables. We've understood what we want, right? Now we want to now start creating relationships. We now want to start the connecting, right? Creating that relationship, doing the modeling basically, right? Now, guys, there's something we call, before we get into that, right? There's something we call database, or rather data normalization, right? So normalization is the process of organizing the tables and columns in a relational database to reduce redundancy and preserve integrity. Now, guys, all the things we've been doing in class, when I've been trying to remove a dimension table from a fact table, just like the guided project, for example, right? When I removed um, when we did from our crime data set, the one we merged, right, from the what's the title of the sheet self? I think something 2021, something 2022. All those ones we merged that gave us the crime data. We removed, we sieved out, we got our dimension table from that crime data, right? Now, when we were trying to get unique entries, right? Removing columns that are not needed and all those things. That is what we call data normalization, right? We're trying to normalize the data, right? So that it will help us, it will aid us in our data modeling. So all those things we were doing, right? Where I now also duplicated the crime data. After duplicating, I named it offense data, right? And then I chose columns that are related to offense data so that I will have my dimension table. And then I removed duplicates so that I will have unique entry of the offense code. All those things are we normalizing our data so that we have unique entry for our dimension, and then we have multiple entries of offense code in our fact table, which is the crime data. That's basically database normalization, all those things. Because you are preparing your data for it to be easy when you want to relate them, when you want to create relationship in your data model. So that is data normalization. Even here, right, when, let me come to transform data, even in our live session data set now, remember when we did something like in our product dimension, when I remove duplicates so that this product ID will just be speaking to unique entry of dynasty winter jacket. So anywhere we see product ID 2, we know that it is classic swimsuit. That time I removed duplicate and all those things I was doing in this table, I'm normalizing this table. That's basically it, right? So that's basically it. Let me close and apply again. So that's basically database normalization. And we have like 3 steps of database normalization, right? Let me first of all show everybody this. Let me go to Excel. Let me give a practical example again. Now I like giving examples. So let's say we have a customer table. Customer table, and we have name of the customer. We have address of the customer. So guys, whatever you do, please watch this video to the end, and before you do your data modeling task, right, that will be released tomorrow. So name, address, state, amount, then maybe we have something like expiry dates, or so this thing is coming from the top of my products box, something like this, then amount, then let's say expiry dates. Yep. So we have Austin, then we have Ikeja, we have Lagos, we have product box, maybe it's a Chanel bag, then the amount, maybe I bought it 1,000. If now 1,000 naira now you sabi, if now what they think $1,000 now you still sabi. So maybe I want to put 1/9/2024, something like this. Now guys, if I want to normalize this data, right, this data is just doing me, if you are on the same thought process, right, as I am now, your mind will be telling you that, oh, this kind of data is what we had when we were dealing with our guided project, the crime data, when we appointed everything, right? We now started saying, instead of having everything, we can create our own dimension table away from this data set, or away from the crime data, or the police data. That is we trying to normalize that data, right? So if I want to do the same thing here, guys, look at this now. We have customer, name, address, state, product bought, amount, expiry date. Why are we stressing ourselves? Why don't I have something like create another table out of this? Instead of having this table like this, let me increase this. Yes. So instead of having this table like this, why don't I have something like this? Another table. I'll I will sieve out, I've been using that word right from time. I will sieve out a dimension table out of this, in the sense that I will have, come and get another one. It's better I have a product table on its own, right? That will speak to each product. And I'll say, okay, the name of the product, right? I'm trying to normalize this data now. Then, in fact, let me make this one product ID, right? Because anytime we are trying to sieve our dimension table out of our fact table, we must remember that that dimension table must have a product ID that is unique and does not repeat. Very important. I don't shout this entire for all the U class. A product ID and then maybe name of our products. Do you understand? So if I have this kind of table, then I can say, okay, maybe this channel bag now, I can say, okay, it has a product ID 1 in our company. The name of that product ID that has 1 is channel. Maybe the one that has 2 as its ID is D and G. Do you understand? I've created another table on its own. So there's no need for me to have this column here again. Do you get? There's no need. I can basically delete this column. Then I'll have something like this. All these things that we are doing, I'm trying to normalize. I'm trying to normalize my table. Do you get? Then I'll come here and just have product ID. Do you guys see what just happened? Now, because what Austin bought was a channel bag, what is the ID for channel bag in our product table? It is 1. I'll come here and put 1. Are you guys getting it? See, so this table is perfect. We now have a product table that speaks to all the products and its individual unique ID number. And then we have a customer table. All of them speaks to the customer ID. So normally we are supposed to have customer ID, right? I forgot that one. You know, when you explain things will enter here. So normally we are supposed to have customer ID, right? Each customer, Austin, from this page, we have different customers, right? No customer will be the same. So we have our customer ID, but understand what I'm trying to do. Now we've gotten all information about our customer ID. Let me put it so you guys will not get confused. Right, so here I'm supposed to have something like customer ID. Understand? Then maybe this one will be 100. Do you get? So now Austin came to our shop and he bought a channel bag. So in our customer table, we will just put the ID number of channel here. No need to put the product name because we have a table called product table where we have information of our product ID and the name of that product ID. With this, you've been able to normalize your table. You've been able to create a dimension table out of this customer table, which is what we've been doing, guys, since, right? Where we had crime data, we try to normalize it and create offense code data, right? And also date table data, right? And also our location table. Do you understand? And all those ones we are creating their IDs must be unique. It must not repeat. It must be unique. That's why we are always removing duplicates and the rest. I hope I've been able to explain this, guys. So this is like the basic way I can explain database normalization. And now there are 3 forms of database normalization, right? When you guys keep moving on, maybe in your SQL class and all that, as you are moving in advanced level, you guys will be treating it. We have the first normal form database normalization. We have the second normal form. So if I say 1NF, it means first normal form. We have the second normal form, and then we have the 3NF, the third normal form. Basically, so this one is just, it helps you eliminate repeating groups in individual table, right? So when you eliminate individual repeating groups like duplicates and the rest, you've made your table to be in the first normal form, right? When you also go deep down again and you relate tables with foreign key, right? You carry like just like this now, and I have this table that did not have a foreign key before, and I made it have a foreign key of product ID. I've gone down to my second normal form. So before you can normalize a table or your database or the tables, you must go through these three steps. Then your third normal form is when you eliminate fields that do not depend on the key. Remember that I now removed that product bought, right? Remember when I started, we had like something something bought, and the bag bought or something, name of bag that was bought. I removed it because it does not describe my customer. I removed it and then I placed it in my new product table. So you see, so all this that I've done have met these conditions. So definitely my tables has been normalized. I've created this and there's no repeated value or repeated code or repeated primary key here. I've tried to relate tables with foreign key. I've made a foreign key in this original table, and then I've made sure columns that are not related to the primary key have been removed. Guys, that is basically database normalization. This thing, all these things I've been doing throughout. When I prepared product ID, when I prepared in our guided project, when we did offense code table, we did date table, and also we did that geo table when we're trying to make it unique and the rest or something like that. That is we trying to normalize our data, so it will help us. We'll have primary key in one table that is unique, and then in our fact table we'll have that primary key as a foreign key. That's basically what we've been trying to do. So with that, let's go to our PowerPoint. Let's see if it's guiding us. So I've been able to explain this, right? What's the next thing? Creating relationship. Now let's create relationships. How do you create relationship? So creating relationship is very easy, right? You have two methods, right? So let's say I want to just, so for practice purpose, we are not yet doing our modeling yet, but I just want to create a relationship so everybody will see it. Now, for practice purpose, because I'm seeing territory ID here, and also we have our territory ID as a foreign key in our fact table, right? This is a dimension table because if you check, territory ID is going to be a unique key. It's a primary key here, and all other columns are describing this primary key, and they are not duplicates. They are unique. Each territory has its own ID, right? Now, but in this fact table, territory is a foreign key here. It's in a foreign land called returns table, right? So now for me to connect them, I can just basically drag and drop, right? Because this is territory ID, primary key connecting to a foreign key. Primary key, territory ID connecting to territory ID, a foreign key in returns table, right? So if I do that, it creates the relationship. That is it. That's basically it. So if you don't want to use this method, I'll right click on this relationship, delete. So there are other methods you can, let's try that. So notice what I did. Remember that they said it is a relationship between a primary key and a foreign key. That is your data modeling. You creating a relationship between a primary key and a foreign key. So that is why we're trying to normalize our data in the Power Query for guided project then. Right? So that we'll have primary key in those dimension table. And then those primary key would also be in the facts table, and they will have plenty occurrences, right? But in our dimension table, they will be unique and they will not be repeated. That's the goal. Just have that idea in your head. This thing is simple, right? Now I would, something skipped my mind. I wanted to show you guys something. Yes, the second method. So instead of dragging and dropping, because we know that this one is primary key and it needs to connect to a foreign key in the fact table, right? I can come and say, this is my home tab. I'll come here, manage relationship, right? I will say, okay, I want to create a new relationship. I click here, select table that you want to create. I'll click on this drop down. I want to connect the territory table and then with my returns fact table, right? Now, what do I want? See, it's even smart. Power BI is smart enough. It has already grayed out the columns that have primary key in my territory dimension table, and then the foreign key. This territory now, it's now in a foreign land in the fact table. It has sensed it. It has already connected it, and it's saying the cardinality type is one to many. So we'll talk about this later. Right? You see, it has connected straight up. So if I click on OK and then I click on close, watch what will happen. It still do the same thing we did. See, shaking up. So that's how you create relationships, right? From primary key to a foreign key in a fact table. So sometimes you might have a primary key in a dimension table, and then you have that primary key as a foreign key in another dimension table. You see something like that. So now, yes, guys. So what's the next thing on our PPT? I hope everybody's following. See, data modeling is sweet when you have done your preparation, when you've done the preparation right in your Power Query. So data modeling will just be easy for you. Understand? So okay, I've spoken about this now. Add or detect relationship using the money. So there are two types: click and drag primary key and foreign keys within relationship pane, or you use the manage relationship dialog box. I've been doing this right from time, guys, right? Deleting relationships. Just right click on using the mouse and select delete. That's all. I've been doing it. So let's try and delete this one. This one that we created. I'll just come on this connection, hover around it, right click, and delete. It deletes the connection. Do you want to delete this table relationship? Yes. That's all. Let's go back. So what is the next thing that we have? Whoa, I love this. I love this. We are getting somewhere. So now, guys, we are getting somewhere. We are getting somewhere. So now we go. Yes. So now, guys, look at all this. This thing is just, isn't this messed up? We just have tables lying around, no structure, nothing. Right? Yes, I know that. Yes, I want to connect. I'll start looking for this one. Yeah, this one should be. This one is dimension table. Okay, yes, it's dimension table. Yeah, let me find the fact table. Yeah, boom, I drop on here. This one product dimension table. This one too, I think it's dimension table now. It has the product category. Okay, this one is product dimension. So the ID is product ID, right? And it should be unique here. Where will I connect it now? Which fact table is here again? I'll look for order. But this order is hiding. Oh. Okay, I'll drag it now. Does this one have product ID here? Since it's a fact table, it's supposed to have look at product ID. It's a fact table. So product ID now is the foreign key in this table, right? I need to drag it. I drag it to connect. But hey, it's not, when you don't have a logical structure on how to connect your data, or rather connect your tables, then you don't have a right schema. So basically what I'm saying is the logical structure, guys, right, of the tables used for reporting in Power BI is known as the schema of the data model. So the way you arrange your tables when you are connecting them, that is what we call schema. Now, there are two types of schema, two very popular types of schema: snowflake schema and star schema. Remember what I did in the data, conceptual modeling or something that I did, right, in the Power Query continued recording, where I showed you guys, I placed the crime fact, and then I did the location, offense dimension by one side. I did date dimension at the other side. Then I did that geo at the other side. That's like a star schema. That's an arrangement. So that's what we want to do. The structural arrangement, the logical structure of your tables in your data model view is what we call schema. We have two types that are popular: star schema, snowflake schema. Now, there's something I want to show you. Now, let's see the difference between these two. All right. So I would say So instead of speaking plenty English, let me just show you guys um something. I think I have did something for everybody. See guys, if you watch all the recordings that I've done, the live sessions, if you are following it, the live sessions, and then all these ones that I'm just posting, the check-in session that I posted the other day, and all this one again that I'm showing you guys, you will be in a better position when you are going to the classwork or the classroom to read. Honestly speaking. So now, so there's something I want to show you guys that I did. Okay, schema. Now, see what I did. I came up with this not quite long ago, guys. I just finished the live session. I said I must do this for everybody. So now this is star schema. Now guys, pay attention. Why I'm doing this is so that if anybody wakes you up in the morning and asks you what is even star schema, at the back of your head, you don't need to be cramming big English. And star schema is when you arranged it. No, you don't need to do that. Right? Just understand the concepts and you know how to use your own terminologies. Now, look at this. Remember, guys, fact table, dimension table. These are two important. By now, if you are hearing fact table and dimension table and you don't know the meaning, you don't understand the differences, then you're not with us. Right? Now, in this case, this is a fact table. Why? Because it contains a numerical column and then it contains foreign keys. Guys, look at what I said. This table is a fact table. Why? Because it contains numerical column. See this one, revenue is a numerical column, right? Profit, numerical column. Price, numerical column. COGS, USD, numerical column. And every other column there are foreign keys. And if I say foreign keys, it means that these are keys that are not supposed to be here. They are in a foreign land. They have their own native land. So other ID would, this is the primary key for this table, right? User ID will definitely be our customer ID, which has its own land as customers, right? So forgive me for using user ID. It's still the same thing. It's just like somebody coming to your store to get something. You can call that person user, right? Or somebody coming to your website to use, a customer coming to your website to buy something. You can call that person user. So forgive me for using user. It's supposed to be customer ID. So now notice that this is a foreign key, customer ID, because it has its own country. It has its own dimension table, a customer table. Abi? Now look at this one again, product ID. Is a foreign key in this place because it has its own table called product table, where it is the primary key, not even foreign key. It is the owner of the table. So now, when a star schema is developed, when you have dimension tables that are directly related or directly connected to the fact table, that is a star schema, and it is arranged in an X structure, right? Guys, are you getting it? A star schema is a logical structure of different tables, right? That whereby the dimension tables, each dimension tables have directly connected relationship with the fact table. So if you notice, this territory table is a dimension table. It's connected directly to the fact table because we have the foreign key here, territory ID. Product table is a dimension table and the primary key here is product ID. But it is directly related, connected to the fact table because we have product ID here again. Product ID here is the foreign key, right? We have a lot of foreign keys there. Customer ID, we have it here as the primary key in this dimension table, but it is directly related to the others fact table because we have user ID here, where it is the foreign key. Calendar, the same thing. We have date as the ID, right? It is connected directly to this others fact table because we have our other dates here, right? You see, that's star schema. Star schema is when you have a direct relationship with the fact table. Other dimension tables have direct relationship with the fact table, and you arrange them in an X or star format, right? Just like X, right? Star, basically. So let's try and depict it with our data set. So let's say, so I can use, let me use this. So guys, let's keep this one. This one is a fact table. Let's keep it aside. Let's use customers, calendar. I think we also use territory, right? We also use territory. So let's use this, and then I think product dimension will rest. So let's say, so don't look at this table. Do as if you don't even know this table. Which table is this one? Customer, okay. So now do as if you don't even know this table. So this is our fact table, right? I just want to show you guys star schema, how you can arrange it. Then we'll do snowflake, and then we'll do the schema type that fits this our data set. So this one is our product. So product dimension. So let me drop it here. Then this is our fact table. So I'll drop my territory here. Let me drop my customer here, right? And then drop my calendar here. You see? So it's looking cleaner, it's looking neat, right? But why are we even able to have this? It's because we did our data normalization well. We were able to remove different dimension tables out of our fact table, out of the table we were given. So it's easier for us when we want to connect, because we now have primary key and foreign keys everywhere, right? So that is why we were suffering ourselves in class trying to do all those dimension table, offense code for our guided project, date table, and then location table too. So that we'll have primary keys in all these things, and then those primary keys will be in the main sheet, so that we'll be able to connect them. So that's why we are doing all those things. I hope everybody is having like a general view now. As I'm saying all these things, you are supposed to be nodding your head. Okay, now I see the reason. Do you get? So forget all these ones because they are not related directly. So now, if I want to do that star schema, you see, it's already giving us that X, because everything will now be directly connected to this fact table. And why is this a fact table? I keep saying it because it contains numerical column and foreign keys. Foreign keys in the sense that those foreign keys has their own dimension table where they are the primary keys. So if I want to connect this, I drag territory ID. Look at territory ID. It connects. Right. If I want to connect this, I drag my date. Where is my date? Drag. Other dates. See, look at it. It connects. Then if I come here, I want to drag customer ID. I drag it here again. It connects directly because we have our foreign key user ID here. Then last but not the least, I have product ID as my primary key in this dimension table, and then I fix it to my product ID as the foreign key here in this foreign land. It connects. So don't look at this one. Just look at this. Notice that we now have, this is a star schema, because all dimension tables, right, are directly connected to the fact table. Meaning all the dimension table here has their key here as the foreign key in this table. Shaking now. That is what we've been trying to do. Now, I hope I've been able to explain this. Let's now go to snowflake schema. Now look at this snowflake schema. The difference here is, notice that our fact table, there was all other dimension table was directly related to it. But notice that in this snowflake schema, you don't have that direct relationship. All other dimension table don't have that direct relationship to our fact table. Now, there are some instances, like, let me give you an example, right? You are in a company, right? You guys sell a Chanel bag, right? And now, in that Chanel bag is under a subcategory, maybe leather bags, right? So that product that we sell is a Chanel bag, but we also house that channel bag in a table called product subcategory, and that channel bag falls under a subcategory called leather bags. And then that leather bags, we also have category for those kind of bags, right? And that leather bags falls under high value bags or expensive bags. You might have cheaper bags, right? But the category for that leather bags is high expensive bags, right? Or high value bags. Do you understand? So now that is what I just explained here. I just explained it here, right? If you notice, we have product ID, and the product ID is not in our fact table. The only connection here from this dimension table here is the fact that we have date, order date, and we have start date. Do you understand? So we can connect this with our start date. If you notice this, the connection from our subcategory to this other dimension table is the fact that this one has product subcategory ID, this one has product subcategory ID as the primary key, because this is its own table, right? It's now a foreign man here in the product table. So I might even call this a somewhat fact table because it contains more foreign keys. Do you understand? Now, but the idea is fact tables has a lot of columns, right? But dimension tables has little columns, right? Very, very minimal columns. So if you look at subcategory here, it has its own category ID and then has a foreign key, product category ID. And now we have a table that has product category ID. See the connection? So all these tables are not connected directly to this fact table. They are connected via each dimension table. So that is Snowflake. So let's do that here. Let's try to do it here. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. Let me remove this. So just click on it, remove. Let me remove this. Yes. So let me show you guys how to do that this thing. So we'll see how we would be able to relate all these things. But I'm just showing you guys individual snowflake and star. So we've been able to do that star, right? So let's see how we can connect a snowflake schema. So I'll come here, drag my product dimension. So how do you even drag? Just double click when you see this symbol, double click and hold it, it will drag it. So I think this is what we want. So let me drag all this one here. So yes, product dimension, product category. So product dimension is just our product table. Don't mind me on English. Product dimension, and then I can use order. Let me use this. Stay with me. I just want to show you how you can have so you can have like a visual. You see? So now this is our fact table, right? And you know why it's a fact table. I don't want to keep repeating it. So now, don't mind all these tables. Just imagine that this is our 3 tables that we have, right? Now, because in our fact table, we don't have product category ID, or we don't even have product category. Yes, we don't have product category ID. Assuming we have product category ID here, and it's in multiple cases, it appears multiple cases. I will just turn this to a star schema because I will drag it here, then directly connect it to the fact table, then also directly connect this. But we don't have it. So I need to link it with another dimension table that has product category ID. You see? See how you can do all this. So now what I'm going to do is I'll drag my product ID because I have that relationship here. Look at it. It's a foreign key in orders table, the fact table. I'll drag, double click and drag, it connects. Then for me to connect this product category to this fact table, I need to connect it through this dimension table called product table, because it has it's a foreign key in this table. So I'll drag it and drop here. So automatically these three tables are connected, but in a snowflake arrangement or in a snowflake structure. Guys, I hope this is getting clear, right? So it's just basically what I did here, right? So let me check if everything is going on well. So we've spent 1 hour 20 minutes. We've not even spent what we do in normal class. So we are there. So how wish I'm in class now. I would have told everybody to give me a thumbs up. So yeah. So I think let's go back to our PPT. So it guides us, right? To know we are not moving too much. Yeah. So yes, so I've been able to explain snowflakes. I've been able to explain star, right? Now let's move on. So okay, manage relationship dialog box allows you to edit, and I think we've done this, right? Okay, do you know what? Before we move on, let us now create the 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 schema type for our data set, or rather for our live session, right? Our live session data set. So let's create the schema. So let's go. Let me delete this. So start from afresh. Guys, you see why it's giving me less issues. I did the data normalization well, right? So that is why you need to be very, very, very careful with all those things I was teaching in class. Duplicate, then remove this, make sure this is unique, this, because it will help you when you're modeling, right? When you're creating this relationship. Now let's go. What do we do? So let's arrange this in such a way that come. So note that we have two fact tables. Very important. We have two fact tables. Hmm? It's very important that we establish that fact. Our returns table and then our others facts table. Hmm? 7%. So so we have returned facts, right? Very important. And there's something I want to also show you guys. I want to tell you guys, don't ever connect two facts tables. Please don't do it. Always connect your dimension to fact, Don't connect two fact tables. So so I'm going to basically have this, my customer here. I'm going to have it here. So let me reduce this. It's just, it does not, I want to be able to make so that you guys will see all the columns, but it's just giving me strong head. We'll do it like this. Guys, remember that when you are working on this, just smile. Be happy. If not, it will be giving you problem. Be happy. See me. Past this is to 12. I'm still happy doing this. So so yes. So yes, this is our customer table, right? Our user table. So I would want to do it like this. So notice that I want to create like a star schema for my order table first. Right? I want to create like, let me move this one first. Let me come over body. So I want to create like a star schema for my, because I have customer ID primary key here and customer ID user ID foreign key here, right? So because they will be directly connected, so I need like a star schema here. So what else will be directly connected to territory ID? So let me move my territory here. And please don't forget that you have another fact table in your returns. So yes. Right. And then What else can we do? So let me move my calendar here. Notice that this is already giving me that star schema, right? That X sign. Hmm? This is also giving me that X sign because I have I have the return date and then I have a date here. I can connect it directly to this fact table. I have territory ID here and I also have territory ID in this table, in this fact table. So I can directly connect it. So we have like two star schemas arrangement here. Guys, I hope you guys are following. Right? Now, how do we deal with these two tables? Now, for we to deal with these two tables, we notice that we would use a snowflake schema in the sense that why don't we have something like this, right? Normally, I'm supposed to move it up, right? But because there's no space, I can have it like this, right? You know what? Let me move it. Let me move this. See how it's now making sense because we understand how we want to arrange these tables, unlike how it was before, right? When it was just scattered. So I can move this. I can move this as well. Then I think I can move this now. Then it's still hard to enter. But you guys understand what I'm trying to do, Sha. So the picture already is coming up, right? So maybe we can do this like this. So that this one will be very small. And to enter here. But I always like it when this is very visible. The column name is visible, right? So that you'll be very to be informative. So you know which product. Like this one, I don't know if it is product dimension, except maybe you hover around it. But I like it when the names are visible. So, but notwithstanding, I can do this, right? I can still make this like this. I'll still make this like this. Then still make this like this. Right? So the goal now is I know that this one, two, three are connected with Snowflake schema because I will connect my product ID or rather my product category table with the product category ID here where it is primary key. I'll connect it to this place where it is a foreign key. This one is product though. Why is this thing confusing me like this? Yes. So let's move this one. I want this one. It does not mean, right? It does not mean both of them can stay here. So this one is my product table and this one is my product category, right? So I can just come and say, okay, this one is product category, right? I have it in this product table. It's my primary key here. I'll drag it here, right? See? So I know that, yes, this one now, just like the snowflake schema we designed, my product ID will now be connected to this because I know I have my product ID here. Where's my product ID? Oh, I'm seeing it now. It's just running away from me. Oh, you see why? Okay, instead of this, let me manage relationship. So let me create new one. So I want my product table to connect to my others new or others fact, right, with the product ID basically. See, it has already seen it one to many. Once I click on it, click on OK, it will help me. You see, now because I know I have user ID here, I can drag my customer ID directly to my other fact. Where's my user ID? Look at it here. Connect. Then I want to also connect directly, right? My territory ID, connect to my territory ID foreign key here. See the beauty, guys, because why we are able to do this is because we've done the work in data preparation. All those things we are doing then, trying to remove duplicate, this. Eh. Then I'll come here because I have territory ID here. and I also have territory ID. I need it to connect directly to this fact table. I'll move it again. See, it's connecting. It's connected to this. It's connected to this, so that I can do anything with all these tables together. I can look for the product category that was returned in so 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 day, because all of them are linked. I can look for the age group that has the age group that has the highest order in what region or in what territory. Are you guys getting it? That's the idea, to link all the tables together so you can have more granularity when you are getting insight. Then next thing that we want to do is to get this date, connect it to the return date. Right? Connected, cabish. So in this, we've mixed star schema and also snowflake schema. We've mixed them both, right? So that's the arrangement. So you see why I said our live session data set will even give us more chance to understand better, right? So I think that's all. What do we need to do? So now there's something we also need to connect date to this. We also need to connect our date to this, because I think we have a date column here. Yes, other date. We need to connect this date to this, right? So because I don't want to drag and drag here, I can still go to my manage relationship. Right, let me create a new one. I say I want my calendar dimension, right? And then I want to connect my orders fact. So I want to use this date as to my order dates too. So I want to connect these two, right? So I'll click on, and then I'll click on close. See the way it connected it from the back, just helped me meet one to many. So guys, with this, we've been able to create our data model. We've been able to delete some relationships. We've been able to create relationships with primary key and foreign key, right? With dimension tables and fact tables. You see all these key terms I'm telling you guys. This is a fact table, this is a fact table. We don't connect fact table to a fact table. No, we connect from dimension table to fact tables. We can even connect from dimension to dimension, then to fact tables. But we never connect from fact table to fact tables. You can actually, but it will give you unexpected results, results that are not even making sense. So that being said, this is 12 a.m. It is well. So what's the how many hours? 1 hour 32 minutes. Okay, still have time. So that being said, what else? Let's go back to our PPT because it guides us. So I've been able to show you guys, right? So I've been able to edit. So if you want to still edit or whatever, you go to your manage box, go to this place, home tab, in your data, your model view, go to manage relationship. Let's say you want to still edit, you click on edit. If you need new, click on new. Let's say I want to edit this others fact and territory ID relationship that I did. I click on edit. And if I want to do anything I do, I click on OK again. As simple as that. But I don't want to do anything. So we go to next one. Now this is very important, right? This is very important. So guys, we've been able to talk about a lot of things, right? I've even told you guys about different kinds of schema. We've done an example with our live data set, so it's clear. It should be clear for everybody now, right? So let's talk about cardinality relationship. Let's talk about cardinality relationship, one to many and many to one and the rest, right? Let me save this right. It will not, yeah. Let me save everything I've done. So I hope that everybody is following, and if you have gotten up to this point, then big ups to you. Big ups to you. You really want to be a strong man in data analytics. Big ups to you. So now let's go. We don't have time because we need to check our guided project to be sure that our data model, all those things we did in class is okay. If it's not okay, meaning we'll still stay like maybe extra 15 minutes or 20 minutes to check the problem out. If it's okay, then we can go to sleep. Uh, so let's go to our PPT. Now let's talk. Cardinality is the type of connection. Remember, data modeling is the relationship that you create between primary key and foreign key. But cardinality is the type of the relationship. Very important. Cardinality is the type of the connection established between two tables. There are 4 types of cardinalities in Power BI. The relation between tables is denoted by 2 symbols, asterisk and 1, where asterisk means one, many, and 1 denotes a single side. What does this mean, guys? Let's go back. It means that, you see that we've connected this, right? This is basically our data modeling and everything, trying to create a relationship. But now look at, it's telling me this is from 1 to many. 1 to many, because asterisk means many. 1 to many. This is the type of the relationship. See? 1 to many, or many to 1. 1 to many. 1 to many. You see that is, if as I'm saying all these things, you are supposed to be shaking your head saying that, oh, now I understand when Austin keeps saying, okay, I need that fact table to have multiple occurrences, many occurrences. Okay, and then dimension table should be unique with that primary key. Okay, that's what I'll be expecting for you to say. Remember when I gave you guys an example of employee, right? And absenteeism. I gave you guys that example now. But before we go there, right, you understand what this means, 1 to many, 1 to many, because it says is a relationship. We have is a relation. Okay, the relation between tables is denoted by 2 symbols. You guys have seen it. Asterisk means many, the table that has many sides, while the 1 means the table that has single side. Now we have different types: 1 to 1, 1 to many, many to many, many to 1. We'll talk about each of them. Now 1 to 1. Let me give you guys something. So we'll talk about 1 to 1, 1 to 1, 1 to 1. Let me go to this one. Yes. So let us do something. I'll be able to be fast. So table A, let's say we have table A, and we have table B. So we have hospital ID, patients in, patients out, length of day. Length of day. So we also have these columns too here in this table, right? And then let's say I see one of the hospital ID is 1001, 1002, 1002, 1004, 1005, 1007. Let's say I just give them a random number. I give them a random number 20, 50. So let's form any number. 10, 13. So I'm just giving any number, guys. There's no. I just want to explain something. 23. 29, 12. Length of day 2. If you don't mind, I'm just giving a random number that does not make sense, but I just want to explain something. 3. I want to explain that 1 to 1. So do the same thing. instead of having this, I can do, instead of having the same column, maybe I can have recovery rates, right? I have mortality rate. I can also have, instead of length of day, I can have maybe bed utilization, something like that. So let me still have this hospital ID. The recovery rate, I'm going to give anything 9.02, 8.4, 5.7, 2.5, 12.0. So you guys will understand. So let me just do like the same thing so you guys will understand. So no waste time. So now, guys, let's say we have this table, right? And you have, when they say if I have this table and I want to, if I connect this table with hospital ID to hospital ID, right? In this table, hospital ID is the primary key, but in table B, hospital ID is the foreign key here. In table B, hospital ID is the primary key, but in table A, it's the foreign key. So if I want to connect both of them, if I connect it, it's going to give me one-to-one relationship, right? It's not, how would I put it? It's not, I will not say it is not efficient. It is more or less not going to give you a tangible response, basically. So one-to-one is not, most of the, what is ideal, or what we believe that gives us a better insight, right, is when we have one-to-many relationship, right? When we know that yes, a dimension table has a unique entry, just like this hospital ID. This hospital ID has 101. So no matter how, we know that there's a hospital that has the ID 101. Maybe it is Chukwuemeka Hospital, right? And the whole of this sheet, we will not see any repetition of Chukwuemeka Hospital. Do you get? So if we still have that same table here, and we want to connect, then what is now there's no granularity more. So most of the time we don't use one-to-one, right? One-to-one does not really make sense, because if you see, we also have that uniqueness here: 1001, 1002, no repetition. It's just unique: 1, 2, 3, 1004, 1005, 107. So when you have this kind of data set, or when you have these two tables or two queries, instead of leaving it in Power Query and then you come to your data model to now connect it so that it will be one-to-one. One-to-one in the sense that it will now be one here and then one here. It does not make sense, right? Instead, it's better you just, in your Power Query, all those are data transformation that I taught you guys, it's better you just merge the two tables, right? If we merge these two tables, and I told you the condition of merging tables are the rows, they must have like a primary key, and also the rows must most of the time be equal to each other. So instead of me leaving these two tables separate like this, then coming to my data modeling to connect it so that it will now be one-to-one, it does not make sense. Just basically merge the two tables together, because they have the same hospital ID. And if we merge it together, it's going to look like this, right? All this information will come and then it will stay here, basically, right? So we don't basically need anything again with table B, because everything would have been merged to see everything makes sense like this, because we now have one big table that has hospital ID and then information. So we will not have two different tables. So instead of leaving those two different tables, then coming to your data model, your model view, Power BI data, and then you want to now connect it to have one-to-one, it does not make sense. Just in your Power Query, merge the two tables together so they will be one. I hope that makes sense. Then the second apologies for the noise. The second option is we've spoken about one to one, right? And I told you guys more of the time is not really um efficient enough, or it's not. I wouldn't say it's not efficient. It's not just yeah, it's not just efficient, right? In an ideal world, we want to just have one to many. Right? There are some cases that you have one to one, though, but it is rare. So let's talk about one to many or many to one, which is what we have here, guys. If you notice, we have it basically everywhere, right? One to many, one to one, and that's the right way of the conventional way of connecting or creating relationships, right? Now, if I think I have something that I also did. So because I've been talking about this employee ID and absenteeism, so I said let me come up before I enter this recorded session. Let me come up with something so you guys will visualize it instead of just talking. So this is employee table. Let's say we have like a table that is all about our employee. So this is our ID. So let me move it to this side. I like moving my ID to the left hand side. Yes. So employee ID. Right. And then maybe we'll have another table absenteeism. Yeah. Okay, this is the same ID. Let's move it to the left hand side so we'll see. So note that this is our employee ID, guys. Let me change it. Employee ID. Employee ID. Now, guys, this is our employee info. Let me call it. This is our database for our employees, right? So the employee that has employee ID 1, right? His transportation is 235. His age is 37 years. He has 3 children, and his height is 172. I can name him Austin. Do you understand? So it's just a pity I did not. I was rushing, so I did not put name here. So, but you get the point, right? Notice that all the IDs are not repetitive, right? They are not. They are not repetitive. Everything is unique. See, right? Everything is unique. So if I come and I do, okay, I want to just see for employee ID 2, watch what will happen. It gives me only the information in a single row about employee ID 2 because we don't have it repeated. It does not repeat in this sheet because everything is talking about employee ID, which is supposed to be unique. Nobody is going to have another person's ID in this table, right? Now, if I go and click on everything and click yes, then let me go to our absenteeism table. Now, if I come to my absenteeism table, notice that there are different repetitions of employee ID 1 because yes, let's say employee ID 1's name is Austin, and I told Precious, right, to track absenteeism. Precious is sitting down in the security office, and then Austin, the first day of work, he came late. His name will be there, right? They will write his name. Employee ID 1 came late, right? The day of the week that he came is so time. The month that he came is so time. Then if he comes tomorrow again, in that same sheet, they need to write his name again now, right? Then he will definitely have another his own ID 1 written again. So in this table, we have many occurrences of our primary key in this table, which is okay, which is what we want. We want to be able to track absenteeism. We want to know how many times this person came late. So we need to have that many occurrences in this table, just like what we are seeing now, right? If I come and I do, so this is like the practical, the best way I can explain this dimension, fact table and everything, and even your when you don't want occurrences or when you want occurrences. This is the best way. If you are visualizing this, you're supposed to be having that idea in your head. So if I come here and I click on 2, watch. You see, we have many occurrences, meaning the guy that has this ID came late for like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Are you getting it? He came late 5 times, which is allowed in this table because yes, we want to track the number of times people come late. So we definitely have different occurrences of employees, because me now, I can come late every day in a week, right? My name will be in that roster, my ID will be repeated there, so it's allowed. But in the employee I table, it's not allowed, right? It's not allowed for your name to be repeated in the employee table, because we only have your ID once and all your details. That's all. So now in this case, this is what we call one to many, right, guys? One to many, because there's one entry of employee ID in this table, and in our absenteeism table, there is many entries. So if I want to connect these two now, it will be perfect, because I will just drag, it as we've been dragging here, right? I'll just drag it. Let's say this one is our employee table, this one is our absenteeism table. I'll just drag employee ID equal to employee ID, that's our foreign key in this absenteeism table. It will just give me one to many. That's all. Because we have many occurrences in the absenteeism table here of our employee ID, but in its own dimension table, it is unique. It's just one occurrence for each employee ID. I hope that makes sense. I hope I've been able to explain this employee ID um, um, fact and dimension table again, and all those things that I will say, no, I want my dimension table to just have unique entries. This code must just be unique. I don't want it to be double, right? But in my fact table, it can be double, no problem. That's why, because we want to, at the end of the day, get one to many relationship. So, so let's go. So yes, so you see that I've been able to explain one to one, one to many, many to one. So even if one to many is still the same thing as many to one. Right? It depends on how you look at the table. It depends on how you want to call it. So if I have like this, if I have this, I can call this many to one, Abi, and as I can also call it one to many. So that's just it. Then we have what we call many to many relationship. So many to many relationship gives us unexpected results. So we don't basically use that except for complex situations, but we don't use that kind of relationship type because it gives us unexpected results. Guys, so the common or the most used relationship type, right, is always the one to many. It's very important that you know that. And if you notice, all the things that we've been doing is to have that setting. A fact table that will have different occurrences of our primary key, which is a foreign key in that fact table, and then a dimension table that will have unique primary keys. So that when we want to connect them, it will be one to many. We connect from dimension to fact, not fact to fact. Yeah. So I think let's go back to our PPT. So I think, okay, the next thing is, okay, we're done. The next thing is cross filter direction. So, okay, cross filter direction is simply the arrow in the center of the line which represent direction of filtering being applied to two tables. So, um, so before we go, let me just give like a brief rundown, right, about this many to one, one to one. So, as I said, right, one to one cardinality means that your primary key from a dimension table will be linked to just one foreign key in the fact table. I've done that, right? It's insufficient. It's just better for you to merge the two tables together. I've shown you guys how, right? At least the visual aspect, you guys will understand. And if you have one to many or many to one, it means that the column in one table has only one instance, right, of a particular value. So all these things are just English. I've shown you guys what you need to do, right? When you have many to one, one to many, you guys have visualized it, you understand the concept. When you have a unique entry in a dimension table and then many occurrences of that primary key, of that unique key in the fact table, then you can use one to many, right? Exactly, or many to one. So, but many to many, as I said, means that there are many occurrences of your primary key and also many occurrences of that primary key in your fact table. So it will be many to many, and it does not give us expected results. It tends to give us unexpected results. Yeah, so let's talk about cross filtering. So cross filtering is simply the arrow in the center of the line, which represents the direction of filtering being applied to two tables. Let's go and visualize what it's saying. So look at this arrow, guys. It's telling us that the filtering is happening from the one table, the one side of the table that has primary key that is just unique, no repetition, no duplicates. It filters from this to the many side, right? And that is what we want. We want it to go and check from this many side and help us get granular, like more information. So it filters from this to the many side of your other table. So basically, it filters from dimension to a fact table, right? If you notice, dimension to a fact table, dimension to a fact table, one to many, one to many, which is our fact table. And if you look at the arrow, see one to many filters. That's like the normal way of filtering, right? That's what it means by cross filtering. So if I say I want to even change this, I can do manage relationship. I can call. Let me choose one. Let's say I choose this one, others fact, or I choose this one. Let's edit. So if I say, okay, I want to even change this cardinality to one to many, this is where you can change it, right? Or I want to change the cross filtering direction, I can change it to both. But this is also gives us unexpected result, and it is something that we use during complex situations, right? So that's basically, if I do this now, you see that the arrow will be double. So which one did I even do? Oh, I did the one that is now hidden. Where is it? I forgot. I don't even know. I'm exhausted already, so I don't even know what I did. So I think I did for the second one, right? I think I did for this one. Let's go and edit it. So it's not affect our visuals. So I just wanted to show you guys how it looks like, but I'll use the PPT to show you guys. So I think it's this one I did for others fact, and it is it. So let's change it to single. So yeah, so the boat is something that we don't yeah, look at it. See this one, see all these ones, as I told you guys, from dimension to your fact, from dimension to fact, so one to many. This is how it filters, right? It filters from the single side to the many side, which is basically the fact table. It filters from a dimension to your fact. But see this one, if you do that both, it will be filtering in both ways. See how this one is double, this one is double. But most times it does not, it's not advisable, right? Or we use it in complex situations and it gives us unexpected result. But hey, this is the default filtering method. So with that, guys, I think we have come to the end of data modeling, and I'm sure that everybody with these examples and how we did this, you see that data modeling is key. But let me show you guys something. Let me do something so you see how important data modeling is. Before we go and check, we go to check our assignment, or rather our guided project, to see if our data model that we created the other day is okay. Then if it's okay, we call it a day. If it's not okay, we just spend like 15 minutes to just see the problem. So let me show you guys example or advantage of data modeling, so you guys will see. Let me say I choose a table, just a table visual, right? And then I want to add like maybe my I want to add maybe my territory ID. I want to add my territory ID here. Right, and then I want to also add maybe doing this. Let me add this. Also, I also want to add maybe others facts. Maybe let's use this total profit. So we can call this later on revenue though. So let me use this. Now, guys, watch. You see what happened? Because of my data model, I can connect from different tables. You see, as I'm just connecting, it's giving me information. It's telling me, okay, this territory gave us a total number of 219 USD dollars for refund amount, this territory, right? And if you notice all these other territories, they don't even have a refund amount, meaning they don't have much refund or much return on their orders. So they actually buy goods and they pay, right? Now, for total profit, the total profit that was brought in by different territory, territory one gave us, I know this territory one, I think in the territory table, you definitely have the name. Yes, you see, state name basically. So you can check which table or which name of the territory or state name has one. So now this one, this territory ID, the state name that has territory ID one brought in 27,000. The highest territory was 39,000 total profit. You see, that's four. Right, you see, so you see how beautiful this thing it helps us, gives you more granularity in your data set. But now if I remove this, if I go and say, okay, I want to remove relationship, or let me remove this relationship, territory and others. Let me remove this. Right, watch you. I delete this relationship now, watch. Let's go back, let's see what will happen. You see, let me even remove this one again, territory and return to. You see what will happen. Territory and return, let me remove both of them again. Notice before it was giving us per territory. It gave us per territory the sum of amount for this territory, the sum of refund amount, the total profit per each territory. But notice now, see what will happen. You see, it's not breaking it down again per each territory. So anytime you see something like this, just know it's a data model problem. Anytime you see something like this, just know that it's a data model problem. So if I go back and do that thing, I connect my territory to this. Connect my territory to this. Then I connect my territory again to this. Right. Watch, it will come back again. You see? Cabbage. So you see that data modeling is very, very, very important. So with that, I can say I've been able to convince and not to confuse you that data modeling is key, right, guys? So you see the way we arranged everything, and at least when you go through this recording, you understand. Now, guys, let me take like 5 minutes break, and then I'll come back to we'll check our guided project to see if we are on the right track. So I'll come back by 5 minutes, in the next 5 minutes. So yes, guys, back. So let's go to live session. Let's save this. So let me close this. Yeah. So we go back to Power BI. So let's go to open guided projects. So I'll go to file, and then because I've saved it already, it's already in my recent. So I just clicked on the file. So I'm hoping that what we did, we have no issues, honestly. So please endeavor that you get to this part of the recording, right? If you don't get to this part, please don't do the data modeling assignment that will be released this morning, right? Make sure that you go through all the recordings, then you'll be able to do that assignment. So let's go back to our data modeling. Okay, some people have been joined. So where is I think we have, so you see, guys, you see that thing I was talking about? something we did. I think we designed this already, conceptual modeling, right? Our crime fact table, then our offense dimension table, and then our date dimension table. So we are missing one table. Please, why this one can't dey here? Why you think can't define here, guy? So let's see how we'll be able to connect it. So let's see ONS code, right? This is, so we know that this is going to be unique, right? And then there will be multiple appearances of this ONS code here, right? So let's do it. So if I drag, then drag here, so it's supposed to give me 1 to 1. Oh, 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 wow. You see what I explained, right? Many to many, and this relationship has many to many. This should be only be used if expected, if it is expected another column contains unique values and that the significant different behavior measurement is understood. You see, they are even warning me. Do you understand? So, so guys, we need to go back. There's something wrong. There is something wrong. There is something wrong. So let's go back, guys. You see, that's why you need to watch this video to take the correction. So let's go back to our transform data. You see why it is very important before you are doing anything visualization or DAX, your data model must be on point. So I'll go back to this so that we will know the issue. Right. So this is our geodata, right? And we said this code represents this CSP name, right? And this was our crime data new that we did. So because we merged these two, remember guys, don't get lost. Because we merged these two, that gave us crime facts table, right? So let us remove this. Remember that our date dimension and offense dimension is okay. We don't have issues, right? We just have issues with our geodata because the ONS code is saying there's multiple occurrences in this dimension table, which is not supposed to be so. It's supposed to be unique occurrences. And then there's also multiple occurrences in our fact table, which is okay. So we need to work on this geodata, right? But now, before we got this, we merged this one and this to get this. So we need to remove this. This is not going to be okay. We delete the crime fact table. Right. Then we'll come here. Then we try to right click and then make this one enable load so it will come up back. It is now okay. So this is our crime data set that we've been using, that we appended all these ones that give us this. And then from this one, we got date dimension, guys. Remember, right, that we made our quarter year to be unique. You see that thing that I've been explaining, guys? This thing that I've been explaining, that in your dimension table, it needs all your entries supposed to be unique. So that in your fact table, right, you now have many occurrences of your unique key or your primary key, right, so that you can be able to have one to many. See, that is basically what we want to do again now, right? So now, see the way I'm deciphering the problem is very important. Now, I'll go back to my geodata, right? So the problem now is here because it's telling us that the one that we called our dimension table is not unique. That is what it's telling us. Do you guys understand? It's not unique. So now, how do we make this our geodata have unique ONS code? How do we make it? So now, how do we do that? So in my head, right, I would say, okay, let me duplicate this so that I will have my own. I'll have my own location dimension that is unique. I hope it makes sense. Just the same way we duplicated this and then we started removing columns that are not needed, right? So I'll duplicate this I'll call it maybe location dime, right? Then I call it location dime. Remember, this is where we duplicated from. I call it location dime. I basically now, guys, because the goal of this is, remember the first goal that we had was we wanted to make our ONS code appear in our fact table, this one, because in our date dimension we have our unique code, our primary key here, which is unique, and it's also present here. Look at it, it's present here, right? Quarter year, and it is not, it is in many occurrences here, right? So if I want to connect date dimension and this, it will be easy because here quarter year is unique and it is in one, right? A single entry. So we can do one to many. In this fact table here, the quarter year occurs multiple times, so it is fine. That's what we want. If we come to offense dimension, our offense code, we did it so that offense code will be unique. That is, remember our relationship type 1 for dimension table, right? 1. Then this offense code in the fact table here now, this one that we're thinking was our fact table. If you check your offense code, it will be multiple occurrences, just like this, guys, right? Just like employee ID in our absenteeism sheet, it's appearing multiple times. That is how our offense code will be appearing multiple times in this crime data new sheet. Alright, you see? So these ones are good to go. This one. So the problem now is this location dim. How do we make this ONS code unique and then appear in this place? Because it's not here. ONS code is not here. So how are we going to connect it? So those are the two asks. Now for you to do that, first of all, I noticed that we have first name in this sheet and we also have first name in this sheet. So why don't I remove duplicate from this first name so that I can merge them with the first name, right? I can merge them with the first name and then introduce ONS code to this place, this sheet or this crime data. So now what I mean is I'll come here, location dim, come here, right click, remove duplicate, right? For this first name, I want to just have unique entries of this first name. Right? I don't want repetitions for this first name. Once I do that, I will come and say, okay, I want to merge this and this. Why am I merging this and this? I want to merge them so that this ONS code here in my location dimension now that I just made unique for first name should appear in this crime data fact table, so that I will also have ONS code here, so that when I want to connect them in our data model or our relationship type, we would have one to many, not many to many again, based on the ONS code. So we've done this to be unique, right? And I'll say, okay, I want to merge. So if I do, I'll come to home, go to our merge queries. Merge queries are new, so that we'll get a new fact table now. So I'm going to come here, location. Then I'm going to use this one that we made unique. Let me put first name on this. Let's see. I want all, as I explained initially, I want all the occurrences of the left table to show. But anyone that is unique here also show, no problem. Right? So any row that is unique here would also show, but I also want all the occurrences of this to show, no problem. I explained this in the last class. So I'll click on OK. Then I'm going to call this, let me call this, what did we even call it then? Crime data facts. Now the real facts table. So So I'll come here as we did it initially. Open. So I don't want any other column. I want only the ONS code. Once I click on OK, so once I click on OK, remember what I told you guys, because this ONS code is saying null, we basically, it does not have a CSP attached to it, right? So any CSP that is not available in this sheet, right, will not have an ONS code. That's why we are seeing null here in some of our entry here. So we can do well to just click here, right click, and then replace values null as no CSP, right? Is 100. Now remember, so we now have all the tables that we need. This, Abi. Now remember that I said with this we don't, a fact table contains numerical columns and then foreign key columns. Now let us check this fact table now. The only numerical column it has here is what? Our number of offense, right? Because it has numbers, it's a numerical column. Now the next thing we are supposed to check is for primary keys and foreign key. Offense code is a foreign key here, so it's allowed to stay in this fact table. But offense code is a primary key in our dimension table called offense, Abi, so it's fine. We'll leave these two. Now check again. We have a date dimension table. The primary key we used there was quarter year. We'll check. Quarter year is also here, a foreign key in this fact table. We'll leave it. Now, location that we just did, right? The key, the primary key there that we are using, that we made unique after removing duplicate from first name, is our ONS code, right? This one, let's rename it ONS code. Double click ONS code, right? Is our primary key here in this location dim. And if you notice, it's also here now. That is what we just did. It's now here. So here it is now a foreign key in this crime data fact that we created. So every other column you can do well to remove it. You can do well to remove all these ones, because why? We have them in other tables. So there's no need for it to be repeated. Making it it's less redundant. Remember when I said your data normalization, right? Your data normalization, you have first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, right? Third normal form will be eliminating fields or columns that do not depend on the key. Do you understand? So you might want to do that, right? If you want to do that, no problem. So you select this. Oh, I don't want to move. Select the control, select this, it's not needed. Select this offense description, we have it in our offense table. Select it. Then offense group, we don't need it. Offense subgroup, we don't need it. Then offense code, we need it. It's a primary key here in this offense place, offense dimension table, and also is a foreign key in this fact table now that we created. So we'll leave it. Number of offense, yes. In a fact table, we need a numerical column. We'll leave it. We don't need here. We have it in our date dimension table, and it's not a primary key. Yes, we'll leave this. Is a primary key. Oh, I went to select it. We need it. It's a primary key because it's a primary key in our date dimension, and we need it to be a foreign key here, so we need to use it to connect. We don't need this. We have it already here, right? And it's not a primary key, so we don't need it. So this one, we have it here in our location dim, but it's a primary key there, and it's a foreign key here, so we'll leave it. So you can do well to delete all this, but you can do well to delete it, but I just want to leave it for leaving sake. But you can do well to delete them. So with that, so let us see, we are going to load these ones. These are 4 data that we need. Our date dimension that we're able to normalize and remove duplicates that are unique. Right? Remember when we remove duplicates and we now have our primary key quarter year that is now unique. Everything is unique. Basically, we don't have repetitive nature of first quarter 2012. No, it is always first quarter 2012, first quarter 2013. That's all. Then offense dimension, we also have our unique entries of our offense code. Location dimension, we now have unique entries of ONS code after we use this to remove duplicates. Crime data fact table, we now have all those unique keys, primary keys here as a foreign key. Quarter year, ONS code, and then offense code. Then we are set to go. So we can do this, select this, and select this. Right click, or rather select one, right click, don't enable load. And I'll do the same thing for crime data new, don't enable load, because we have a new fact table. Then let's click on close and apply. Let's see. I hope this works because I want to go and sleep. I want to sleep. Oh, please work. Oh, I want to sleep. I want to sleep. But it's supposed to work. We've done what we need to do. We've made our location table to be unique, and then we made our. So look at this greedy thing. Why is this thing greedy? You know, now what we don't do and correct, you just run connect and leave other ones where they there since. Bad character. So yeah, so that is it, guys. You see, we now have it. We now have it. So basically, what I did, right? Let's make it like a star. Remember our conceptual modeling, right? We had date dimension by this side, or had offense dimension here. Then we have our location dimension under or something, right? Or basically, let me have this down. So I have this up. It's still giving us like a star, right? So yes. I hope people will watch this recording because I just did the hardest part of all this. So your DAX now depends on your question. The DAX that you're going to write, right? Now depends on your questions that you generated. What insight do you want to see? Then you look for formulas and functions that will help you get that. But if you don't get this data modeling, bro, you are just wasting your time. So yeah. So this is our fact table. So I want it, yes, this is what we have, right? This is what we basically designed. So it's like a star, right, guys? Note that it's connecting with, if I come here now, so okay, it's connecting with the first name, but let's connect with, I want to delete this relationship. It's connecting with the first name. Let's try something. Alright, click. Properties. So instead of first name, I want to connect with my ONS code. Yes, and then connect with this. Yes. Let me see if it will not connect. Are you high? I don't want to connect with first name. Connect with my ONS code. You see? So it has connected, right, guys? Notice that it has connected with our ONS code. See? So before it was connecting with the first name, right? But now the ONS code is now unique in this dimension table, and then it's connected to the multiple occurrences of ONS code in our fact table. So we can also here drag our unique offense code in our dimension table and drag it to, where is our offense code here? It's supposed to be at the later part. I'm going to use new player, but okay, let us do a normal relationship. Let's go to manage, let's create new one. Then we want our offense, right, dimension to be connected with our crime data fact. So our offense code, see it has already connected. So you want to so let's new one, another new one, our date, right? Dates, dimension, date dimension, move to want to connect crime data, right? Then see it has already connected straight. It has seen that connection already. This is a primary key. This is also a foreign key in this table because it has multiple appearances here, right? Multiple occurrences. It's unique in this dimension table. One to many, single cross filter, very important. Click, and that's all. Close. Kabish, guys, we have our data model intact. So, guys, I'm going to stop here. This is like a 2 hours 25 minutes video recording that has helped to alleviate all fears about your guided project up until where you need to now focus on you writing your own DAX, because I might be there to help for questions, but I'm not going to do like an in-depth, because basically I taught everybody the guided project up to this extent, right? So now you need to pay attention when I'm using the live session data set to do a lot of DAX statement. So you will go and think on what do you want to create. That is why generating your questions is important, so that you understand what metric do you want to create. Should I do a metric? Should I have calculated columns and the rest? So we'll talk about that during our DAX class. But now I will not do more videos explaining about your guided project. I will be using the live session data set to explain DAX moving forward, both visualization. So you need to be very attentive, come to live sessions, any assignment, do it and meet me or reach out to me or Nnamdi. We'll definitely give you a reply. So please, it's very, very important. It is very, very, very important. So thank you guys very much, and please watch this recording before you attempt your assignment that will be released this morning by 8 a.m. Nigerian time. Thank you very much. Take care and kachifonu odabo. Say this afi.